Yes. Get at it, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Exciting game today. CU did exactly what we all knew that they were capable of doing, which was to bounce back, to get on track, to learn from the mistakes of the game, the previous game against K-State. And what's crazy about this is that it wasn't as if K-State blew CU out last week, despite the mistakes in terms of tackling, angles that they took, some of the things that happened, the offensive line not playing as well as they did this week, and they bounced back. It's interesting to me how this team, when they lose a game, if you notice this season, that's different from last season, is that when they started losing games last season, it was like a snowball rolling down a hill. It got worse and worse each game, right? Even though all those other games outside of the Oregon game, they didn't get blown out, but they still lost those games and things were going downhill. It seems in this season that when they have a loss, they learn from it and they make the adjustments, just like they did when they lost to Nebraska early on in the season. They bounced back. They went on a little bit of a winning streak. They started getting some of their confidence back. And I think they learned a lot from last week's game, because it was very glaring to all of us watching that they were having difficult time making tackles, choosing the right angles. The defensive ends weren't getting the kind of pressure and pursuit on the level that they got today. Okay. So it tells me that this team is better than last year. Let's just put to everybody out there, the haters and all the people, whether it be on social media, off social media, that keeps talking about, oh, this is the same team as. No, this team is not the same team as last year. They've got some real players on this team. I listened to the commentary today, and you can even hear people in sports commentary that are saying that they're recognizing that this is not the same CU team as last year, that there are improvement. There are players that stick out on this team. Because we said it last year, everybody, you must trust the process. You must believe in the process. And last year was just the first year. This year, he was able to pick some of the players that he needed to fill those holes. And I think they're going to be even better the next year. Second year of the program, and they are making strides. Now, last week, I didn't like a lot of the things that I saw that was going on, right? But it seems that this week, they were able to exercise their demons, exercise their mistakes, and get off to a fast start in this game, which Arizona never had any control of this game from start to finish. They never really had control. Now, their quarterback, Noah, the young man, 5'10", I think he is. I mean, he was running at times for his life. He's very athletic. Not a big quarterback, so they kept saying that for him to throw the ball, he has to create space for himself. And there were a few times when he got a couple of scramble runs because he had to scramble because we were pursuing and putting pressure on him. But even though this young man, I'm going to tell you what his numbers were, because I got a point that I want to make here. Even though Noah went 16 of 26, okay, against our team, even though he went, again, 16 of 26 for 138 yards, 1 TD, and he also threw for 1 interception, I got to give our defense a lot of kudos. When you look at brothers like, let's look at this. You've got BJ Green, who was all over the place in his pursuit today. And you had guys like Hill Green. And remember, Hill Green came over from Charlotte. He came over from Michigan originally. He played at Michigan. He stepped up, made plays when they needed him to make plays. He got 1 sack in the second quarter. He was very active all over the field today. Why am I saying this? Is that despite the fact that their quarterback, he had 12 carries for 24 yards. 24 yards was his biggest run against CU's defense. This man right here, along with a whole host of other people, Samuel, Brother Oak here. Samuel right here, number 93. He was all over the place. Remember, he recorded a sack. He got 2 sacks actually in the third quarter. Overall, the defense did what it had to do because we sacked this guy, Noah, for Arizona. And I said in my pregame show that he is elusive. He can scramble when necessary. He can make some plays here and there. He's a very elusive. I think he, if you notice, they were trying to make him get the ball out of his hands within that 3 seconds that I talked about. They were trying to put him in a situation to get the ball out of his hands very quickly. Thank you, Coach Dre, for being here. I appreciate you. Everybody that's coming in, more people will come over. I know there's a lot of people doing streams today, and which they should. And folks will be coming over. But what I thought was impressive is that this is why this CU defense is getting better. And I want to once again show these guys again. Very important. This young man here, Samuel Hill Green. Of course, Colton Hood, who came over in the transfer portal from Auburn. For the last 2 weeks, he has made an interception. He has taken a pick. Almost got a pick last week on K-State that went all the way to pay dirt for a TD. This week, he made a big play on the ball, big break on the football, got an interception. He's starting to come alive and show you why he was a big-time pickup for them in the transfer portal, because when you look at his video, his film, this guy is always getting the ball in his hands. B.J. Green in the last couple of weeks, even in the loss to K-State, he's been all over the place. Remember tonight, he tackled. I believe he got a sack, should I say. B.J. Green got a sack, a key sack. He got 3 tackles tonight, but even when he didn't make a lot of tackles, he was disruptive on that defensive line. He got 1 sack. That 1 sack led to a turnover, which made their quarterback cough up the ball, which led to Bentley picking up the ball and CU getting the ball back in their possession. I thought that was very key in the game, even though as soon as CU got the turnover, they turned the ball over again on the offensive side, but then turned around and forced Arizona to turn the ball over themselves. This was a 34-7 beating by CU that exercises the demons from last year. What was the score last year? Last year when they played, it's almost similar. Check this out. Do you believe in what goes around comes around? Last year, Arizona beat this CU team 34-31. So they didn't blow them out. They could have very well beat them last year. And then CU comes around, what goes around comes around, and ends up beating them by the same score that they got beat by Arizona last year, by beating them 34. In this case, Arizona had no chance in this game from start to finish, 34-7. And I'm going to tell you something right now, everybody. They left a lot. I'm thankful for everybody that's coming into the chat tonight. I see Peggy Roster, one of my mods. Willis is coming in. HC Picks, Colorado took my bread. Oh, you bet against them? Well, they took your bread. You don't bet against them like that again. They paid them back in full. They dominated on both sides of the ball, defensively, offensively, special teams. And remember I told you they had to concern themselves with Conley, their running back. I just want to pick out some. Here's their coach, Brent. He had them shades on all day. You really didn't get a chance to see what his expression is as his team was thoroughly being handled by CU, because he had them shades on throughout the course of the game. But they thoroughly handled the running game. Conley was thoroughly handled, ladies and gentlemen. I pause for effect here. Conley, what did he do today? Let's put the numbers out. What did Conley do today? We neutralize him. Conley, who was their main back and has been their main back since this season because they've had guys, they had a lot of injuries. They came into this game, Arizona, with a lot of injuries to their secondary. And I had said that before, that they had been shuffling their secondary around in my pregame video. I talked about how they've had to shuffle the running backs, situation around. But Conley has played well for them so far this season, but he ran into us and we sort of neutralized him. This guy had 11 carries, as you see him on the screen there, for 42 yards. His longest run today was for 12 yards. We completely handled him, controlled the tempo of this game, did not allow him to get out. Did not tell everybody in my pre-game video that I didn't think he would pose the same threat that Giddings did. Giddings of K-State was a more potent running back, a more explosive running back, a pro-style running back. I told you that I didn't think this guy could do any damage to us the way K-State's running back did Giddings a week ago. This man he got 42 yards on the ground. Longest run was 12. Didn't we neutralize? I said in my pregame show that we had to neutralize their key players because they do run the ball, although Arizona, their offense is mainly predicated on the passing game. And Noah, their quarterback, number 11, can be elusive at times, and he showed his elusiveness, but we didn't really get destroyed by him because the man he rushed for 24 yards. We gave up 24 yards, but his running at times didn't dominate us because we always had this game under control from start to finish. One of the things that I'm very proud of, because obviously Travis Hunter, and everybody, put your prayers out for Travis Hunter. I think they said during the game that he may have re-injured his shoulder. And one can make the argument that maybe Travis Hunter, just maybe, I'm just asking the question, should Travis Hunter had just set out this whole game from the very get-go to rest up his body for the following week? Would it have been beneficial to CU to let this young man play the following week? Because we can't afford to have Travis Hunter out several games. And because it was obvious that we were beating this Arizona team, whether we had Travis or not. It's better with Travis. It's better when we have Travis, everybody. Thank you. I see everybody in the chat room. Angel Eyes, thank you for coming over and rocking with us today. Let's mod you up. You've been rocking with the channel. I appreciate you. And everybody else that's coming over. But I said this very clearly. I'm going to say this again very clearly. We're better with Travis than without Travis. But this was a game in which other guys had to step up when we didn't have all of our receivers at their best today in terms of the key guys that were still kind of banged up. Even Jimmy Horn Jr. was not that effective today. He did make a really good run on a punt return, but in terms of, and he had one ball that he dropped. I don't think both of them were 100% today. I don't think Jimmy Horn Jr. was at his best today. I think mainly Travis Hunter, maybe he should have just been given rest for another week because he's now aggravated the shoulder. I believe that's what they're saying. Don't crucify me if I'm wrong on this, but it was reported during the broadcast because he came out in his regular clothes that he may have aggravated the shoulder again. And these are very delicate situations, ladies and gentlemen. He needs to rest. I would have rather him rest for this game and get him ready for the next game because it was obvious that we had this game under control from start to finish. And it allowed other young players to flourish. Draylon, let's talk about this young man right here. I just want to bring this Draylon Miller, who, remember, this young man got a touchdown in the first quarter. his first touchdown of the year. This is a young man, remember, that was recruited as a 4-star recruit, and they're playing him like Deebo Samuels of San Francisco 49ers, meaning they can move him all over the place. He's big, he's strong. They can move him all over the place of the field. I think that, without a doubt in my mind, once Amarion Miller, we're going to be calling these guys the Miller brothers. Once Amarion Miller, who you see right here, is able to get healthy and rehabilitate himself, and God, I hope they give him a red shirt so he comes back as a sophomore, we're going to be talking about these guys as the Miller brothers. Because remember, Draylon Miller will be a sophomore next year, and if they redshirt Amarion Miller this year, give him a redshirt year, he'll be a sophomore, and we're going to be, if you agree with me, everybody, hit 7s in the chat room, we're going to be talking about the Miller brothers. We're going to be talking about the combination, how dangerous of a combination we have with the Miller brother. Here go the other Miller, Draylon. How many of you agree with that? Yeah, Amarion Miller, Professor A, is a beast. And he should be starting. I kind of agree with that because of what he did in that game last week, despite the loss. But he put them in a position to come back and win. But I think they need to rehabilitate him. Bring him back as a redshirt sophomore, because Travis Hunter will be gone. Now, Amarion Miller can be the starter, and then Draylon Miller, I could see him as a starter, obviously. And now I could hear the commentary across the country saying, ladies and gentlemen, a deadly combination in college football. Who can stop the Miller brothers? Do you dig what I'm saying? I'm saying, can you dig it? To quote the movie's Warrior. What I'm doing is I'm predicting something in my mind that next year, everybody in college football better beware of the Miller brothers, the Miller combination at Colorado. I think I might do a separate video making my argument for this outside of this video, but Draylon made a good play today, 1 touchdown. Another man, I know everybody on this channel, I've been heavily making my predictions about another young man that you know I'm fond of. And he didn't get a lot of carries today. And Coach Prime said in the press conference that he's been trying to heal from a hamstring. And he got a little bit of playing time today, not much. He came in and got 1 carry. And that's my man, not Amarion, but my man, Micah Welsh. He came in with 1 carry, and I've been telling you that I think that he's an all-down, every down back if you give him some carries. But the guy that surprised me today, and I think he could have got 100 yards rushing had they fed him the ball more than what they did. You all witnessed it tonight, and that was Isaiah Augustive, this man right here. Now, Isaiah Augustive had 14 carries for 53 yards. I think he could have got 100 yards today had they kept feeding him the ball, because he was able to move people. He was able to shred defenders. I mean, he showed me something that I didn't know that he had. He just needed to get the ball. They fed him the ball 14 times. I wish they would feed their running backs, at least one of these guys. They should have gave him 20 carries today, y'all. I think he should have, with them being able to control this game today. How many of you agree or disagree with me that this young man would have benefited from 25 carries? 20 to 25 carries, he would have had over 100 yards easy today, because they couldn't mess with him. They couldn't touch him. To quote my man, that was there, you can't touch this, MC Hammer. MC Hammer was at that game today. They said today that one of the coaches for Arizona was involved in choreography in his videos. And remember, MC Hammer used to go to Falcon games on the sideline because him and Coach Prime were kicking it together. They were good friends, and they were also kicking it when Coach Prime played for my San Francisco 49ers. But I think this young man, you give him 20 carries today, he would have been even more fantastic. But he did get a touchdown. He scored his first touchdown in the first quarter, right? And in that first quarter, he went for 7 yards. I think it was 7 yards. When he got that touchdown, overall, his longest run was for 9 yards today. So I think he could have really benefited from some more carries, but they could not stop our running game. It was too effective. It was too dominant. And that's what I like to see. And you heard people saying this on the telecast today, and I agree with this. If you notice, there's a pattern with CU. When they run the ball well, they tend to win games. When they get away from the run and they become one-dimensional, and this is pretty obvious stuff, everybody, they don't win games. They lost that game, and I said that in my post-game video a week ago. When they lost that game to K-State, I said very clearly, they should have ran the ball more. They got away from running the ball, and if they would have ran the ball more, considering that it ended up being a close game, they probably could have pulled it out by putting the ball on the ground a lot more, controlling more clock, and keeping K-State on the sidelines more. You notice today they kept Arizona on the sidelines more. Even Coach Prime talked about this during the halftime post-game report with the sideline reporter. He said, hey, we're running the ball, we're controlling time of possession, and keep another guy on the sideline. That's exactly what you have to do. The formula, and they said this today, ladies and gentlemen, that if CU sticks to running the ball with the combination of passing the ball, there's nothing that they can't do, and there's no team that they can't possibly beat in the Big 12 Conference.
Tell the truth.
Do you believe the things that I'm saying and the things that they've been saying? Do you believe in that strategy, that philosophy, everybody? Put sevens in the chat room if you do. I see we have Guy Singletary here says, the got to keep playing like this for the rest of those games. Yes, they've got to run. They've got to push the run the ball to pass the ball. I know everybody wants, I know Coach Prime and the coaching staff and everybody wants Shadeur to put up these big godly numbers so that he could be considered as a Heisman Trophy selection or something of that nature. I'm telling you right now, they're going to have to sacrifice something here. And I mean, they're going to have to keep running the ball, to pass the ball, play this type of way, and you can compete with anybody that comes your damn way. Okay? Now, do you all remember this? I talked about this in my last video. The matchup predictor, according to ESPN analysis, they had CU beating Arizona 59%, and they had Arizona at 41%. So this time they got it right. They've been getting it wrong a few times here, but this time they got it right. Everybody put their money in their favor on CU beating this Arizona team. I never had any lack of confidence that they could not beat this team. Shadeur looked great today. I got to be honest. Yes, he threw 2 interceptions. Ladies and gentlemen. But would you agree with me by putting sevens in the chat room? Thank you, Willis. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you. I see we got Jungle Brother in here saying, proud to be a Buff fan. That D line looked like the Steelers. They looked fantastic. Let's give them a clap. I'm going to get to the defense because the defense did what they had to do today. I'm going to repeat this again. 7 sacks today on a man that I said in my pregame video that this kid right here was elusive. This kid right here could run. You all saw that he could run today, that he's very elusive, very quick. But you could tell that he was struggling at times to throw. Now, he was throwing the ball, but the commentary made good points. They were saying because he's 5'10" and it's hard for him to see over the line, he had to create space for himself to throw the ball. And he showed that he had that ability to create space. But today he showed that he could run the ball when necessary. He got 24 yards, as I said before, but he didn't really dominate us. His running ability did not dominate us, and it did not lead to Arizona defeating us. And that was key. But when you look at Shadeur, and we got to give hands off to Coach Prime. I think if you notice something about Coach Prime, and tell me if you guys agree with me, Coach Prime is improving as a coach. Everybody criticized him a year ago because he was working with a really, with a bare cover of talent. And he made mistakes last year as a coach. You're going to always make mistakes as a first-year coach in college football or even professional football, right? But you're noticing that he's really evolving as a coach, and Robert Livingston, yes, he's made a few mistakes here and there with some of his defensive play calling here and there. But overall, we've got to give Robert Livingston a lot of credit coming over from the NFL because he called a hell of a defensive game. Let's give him a clap right now. And Coach Prime brought this man over. Coach Prime has made a good decision in some of his coaching selections, particularly Robert Livingston, I would say, because you're seeing some NFL concepts that he's bringing to the table. And haven't I said in previous videos, everybody, I want to see the NFL shit. When do we get NFL shit? And I think Robert Livingston showed us in this game some of that NFL shit. Now, I've been saying, same thing, another NFL transplant. Thank you, everybody, for putting those sevens in there. Jungle Brother. We got God's Grace. Thank you for coming over. I appreciate you all. Let's give, I know, some of us could be a little, some of you may like Coach Pat Shurmur. And some of us may say, some of his play calling is a little questionable. And I do agree at times it can be a little questionable. But I've been saying, too, when it comes to him, Pat Shurmur, when you going to give us the NFL shit? Right? Well, today, he called a great game, okay? He called a great game. Shadeur made a lot of things happen. And we gotta give him some credit where credit is due. Shadeur made a lot happen today with what he had to do. Despite throwing 2 interceptions, okay, Shadeur went 23 for 33 for 250 yards with an average of 7.6. I give you a goddamn analysis here. 2 TDs and 2 interceptions. Despite the 2 interceptions, he was able to make up for it with the 2 touchdowns, in my estimate, with the 250 yards, which still he is an elite quarterback in college, a guy that we know is going to be a bona fide or should be a bona fide first-round pick in the NFL. Hell, I'm a 49er fan. I wish they could get him. We've got Brock Purdy, but shit, I wish we could still get him. It's interesting to see what team he goes for. He ends up getting picked up. I'm going to be honest with you. Just a side note here, everybody. I really don't want to see Shadeur Sanders go to a bad team because when you go to a bad team, bad things happen for first-year quarterbacks. You guys have all seen this in the NFL. So even though we want Shadeur to go number 1 in the draft or in the top 5, but keep in mind, if he goes in the top 5, he's going to a really bad team. But when these good quarterbacks drop to the late, when they drop in the round, they go to a better football team. And I really would like to see Shadeur go to a better football. I don't want to see him going to no damn Cleveland Browns. None of these scrubby teams in the NFL. Oh, God, I don't want to see that happen. But you know how the system works. When you go high in the round, you're going to a horrible team that's rebuilding. And I actually don't want to see Shadeur in a situation where he's with a scrappy team. You can look at the history of the NFL. When these players drop in the round and go to better teams, they have better careers overall. When you go to a better organization, right? A good organization, not a terrible organization. So we'll see how that all works out for Shadeur. But getting back to the data here, this was a fantastic game. How do you all feel about this game tonight? What was your thoughts? Let me go into the chat room and get some people's thoughts about this real quick, because I'm going to stay on my Jungle brother says, unlike the previous defensive coordinator, Livingston is adjusting his play calling, no bump and run zone, high safety, defensive looks that gave up multiple big, yeah, exactly. But just check this out. How many of you in the chat room, by putting sevens in the chat room, remember me saying over the last few weeks that I understand that CU runs a man-to-man defense, but how many of you remember me saying on this channel that I want them to mix up their defensive coverages? Don't be so freaking predictable. Look, I'm telling you, folks, I think these coaches, the players, they're looking at our videos. I mean, not to say that the coaches can't see this for themselves when they look at the video, right? But I think they're paying attention to what we're saying in social media. I said for weeks now, let's mix up the defensive coverage. Don't be so predictable. Give teams a look like you're in man-to-man and then break into zone. Give teams a look like you're playing zone and then break into man-to-man. Well, today, it was said today on that broadcast that it was obvious that CU was blending their defense with some man-to-man and then a little bit of zone here and there. And one of the reasons why they had to play some zone is because they recognized that they were dealing with a quarterback that was pretty elusive. So they realized when playing these elusive quarterbacks, you might need to play a little bit of zone mixed in with your man-to-man. And today, it looked like that's exactly what Robert Livingston did. How many of y'all agree with that assessment that I just brought up? Put sevens in the chat room. Let me know if I'm hitting on the right assessment, the right information here. Let's talk about what Jamal wants to talk about right now. What's going on, my good brother? He says, I would like to see them run the ball at least 28 times. Thank you, my brother. And I said 25. You said 28. Hey, that's cool with me. That's what I'm saying. I believe that Isaiah Agustin should have ran the ball not just 12 times. Off of 12 carries, he got 53 yards. But shit, Charlie came in the game off of 7 carries, and he got the same amount damn near with that big run, right? Near the end. But you're right. I want to see 28 carries, 25 carries for one of these run backs to see what they could do, okay? He says this. Jamal says this. A game or two, I want to see them run the ball 28 times a game or two, because if they keep this up, they should make the playoffs. You are talking facts. Let me give you a clap, my brother.
Tell the truth.
Telling the damn truth. You know, on this channel, I give you the analysis. I like to talk football on this channel. Football, the analysis, the breakdown, and correct. But check this out, Jamal, brother Jamal. That's the same thing that the sports commentators were saying. That you guys hear this today, put sevens in the chat room if you heard what I heard. They said that if Colorado, CU, continues to run the ball the way they did today and commit to it, and they only ran the ball 12 times, one time with Michael Welsh, maybe because he's still healing from injury. They didn't really run the ball that much with Hayden, but the bottom line is, you're right. If they keep up running the ball, they said that they could beat any team in the Big 12. And I'm going to put up a breakdown of the Big 12 conference, and I'm going to show you where CU is and why they can get to the Big 12 championship. They can be a force. When I show you the data just on the conference, the conference itself, and you see where CU is at, I don't want to hear anybody on YouTube now talking about they can't win. That's all the haters out there, all the naysayers, all the critics. You got to hold your damn horses before you wreck yourself and hurt yourself with your false comments. Let me go over here to Brandon Coles. What's going on, brother Brandon, photographer? What's going on, man? I think I know your channel. Thank you for supporting my channel, brother. I think I know your channel. I think I've seen your channel, brother. I'm glad you came over. Glad you supporting the channel. I really appreciate you. He says Baylor beat Texas Tech. Iowa State is losing to UCF. Both lose. That puts CU tied for second now. Brandon Cole's photographer. Brother, thank you very much for saying what you're saying. You're telling the truth. And everybody, make sure you check out his channel. I think I have subscribed to your channel I think I subscribed to your channel with my Information Man Show channel. That's my political, social, and cultural, channel where I get into hard-cutting issues about, what's going on right now with the election and all the stuff that impacts black people. That's the Information Man Show. Check that out when you guys get a chance. But I'm glad you came over, brother, and supporting the channel. He says, I appreciate you, fam. Yeah, I appreciate you too, fam. And keep doing what you're doing what you do, brother. Fantastic. Make sure y'all check this brother out. Brandon Cole, photographer. Check him out. We got Brandon Turner here. Let me put you up here real quick. Brandon, let me see. Oh, I'm probably not saying your name right. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say Turner. Sanders' son's going to the Raiders. You think he's going to the Raiders? That means the Raiders got to have they got to have a bad season. See, the thing is, I don't want to see them. I don't want to see Sanders going to no damn Browns, no damn Arizona Cardinals. You know how this works. Going to one of these real bad organizations that can't get it right. No. I don't want to see that. But if he goes at the top of the draft, he's going to go to one of these ragly teams in the NFL. Let me see. Let me see here. Oh, Anthony came in and made a good point. Tell it like it is, brother. Hey, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate you, brother. Smith, thank you. Williams family is in the house right now. Appreciate you coming over. Williams family says this. They left 50-point games on the table, though. Yeah, they have, but they're going to get better. The Raiders are tanking. So if the Raiders are tanking, they get the first-round pick. They're going to go for Shadeur. Oh, man. Let's see. We got Fitness 365 says he should have done in a game adjustment last week. Yeah, a game adjustment last week would have been to maybe get back to running the ball because they still were in that game. But, we'll see what happens. And brother Brandon Cole told the truth. You've got other teams in the Big 12 that are losing games. That's going to put CU at number 2. But when I get to that chart, it's not really a chart. It's the conference. It's the whole complete conference with all the teams showing you their overall wins for the season and all their conference wins. And when you see where CU is at, you're going to be very optimistic about what they can do going forward, right? So let me go back into the presentation of my program today. Once again, I really appreciate everybody for coming over. Let me go here and talk about Will Sheppard. Let's give him a clap, too.
Tell the truth.
Will Sheppard had an excellent game today, in my opinion. He made a big, tough catch that they tried to take away from him, remember? But they did a further review of the play. He got the touchdown. This young man made a touchdown in the second quarter. That was Will Sheppard making big plays. And he's been coming alive lately in the last few games. So we need him to continue doing what he's doing, continue to be on his game, okay? Let me go back to Shadeur Sanders again. Remember, Shadeur got that touchdown run in the second quarter where he ran for 6 yards and got a touchdown. That was fantastic when Shadeur got that touchdown. I mean, that was incredible. That running touchdown that he got on the ground that I thought was fantastic. Shadeur had 7 carries today for 6 yards and 1 touchdown off of those 6 yards. That was fantastic. Let's give him a clap. I want to go back to the defense again. Do you understand how significant this is that they got 7 sacks against a very elusive quarterback, a guy that Arizona likes this young man, Noah, to throw the ball out of his hands within 3 seconds, right? So the defense sacked him 7 times. I'm going to put them up here again. I'm going to get to LaJohntay Wester. and how he led the receiving corps today. I'm going to get to him. That's why he's on the damn thumbnail, everybody, okay? That's why he's on the damn thumbnail. I'm going to get to him. I haven't forgot him. And I appreciate you all coming over here and supporting the channel. And before I go forward, hell with it. Let's do it like this. First of all, thank you for watching tonight, right? And I want to say like and comment, subscribe to the channel, tell people about the channel, and do me the biggest favor, share this in your social media. Now, if you are a member of a Colorado fan club, a Shadeur Sanders fan club, a Travis Hunter fan club, or a Coach Prime fan club, some type of social media group, whether it be on Facebook or whatever is out there, make sure you drop this video today that I'm doing in those little pockets of social media so that more people can discover the channel and be a part of what we got going over here. Make sure, if you have not already, subscribe or follow this channel on Facebook. We got about 83,000 followers over there, or supporters, as I like to say. I like to say supporters, not followers, supporters, because you make what we do go on social media, everybody. But do me the biggest favor when you get a chance. If you got Facebook, just look for Prime Sports Media on Facebook and just hit a follow over there, because what I try to do is put video clips and all sort of things on there that you don't see on the channel when I go live here, okay? And I put lots of memes and lots of nice stuff on there, okay? So check that out, everybody. I really appreciate that. And tell the truth. So let's get back to this. Where I want to go is that the defense today was excellent under Robert Livingston, as I said before. I've got to be honest. This man right here, Hill Green, has just been a dominant linebacker for us. This guy is flying all over the place. Remember, he played for Michigan at one point in time. I'm just trying to show you some of his pedigree. He was flying all over the place, making plays. And he got a powerful sack today. So when you look at Hill Green's numbers, he got 8 tackles, 5 solo tackles, 1 sack. Cameron, what can I say about Cameron, everybody? Can I say that this guy looks like he might be a draft pick, an NFL draft pick, or maybe someone that will sign with an NFL team in free agency? This guy has been playing great football. I mean, Cameron Seaman Craig has been leading his team in tackles, y'all. He got 7 tackles today for 5 solo. He didn't get a sack, as he got a sack last week. But Cameron has been playing lights out football lately. He is much better than what he showed. Even he got better from last year. This man has literally been all over the damn field, always showing up and showing out. Clap for him, clap for him. If you agree with me, Anthony, if you agree with me, everybody, God's Grace, Turner, Jeffrey Bay, if you guys agree with me, put 7s in the chat room. He's been outstanding. Sigmund Craig has been outstanding. I think he's leading CU. I think he's a leading tackler for this team. Let's just recognize the talent that Craig has brought to the table. Do anybody disagree with me? Put 7s in the chat room. Get those algorithms cranking. You know I give you a comprehensive show. We've got Willie Patton. We've got Shirley, one of my mods. Angel Eyes is one of my new mods, saying tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Robert is coming. Muhammad, thank you, brother, for coming over. Robert Jennings. Don't worry, everybody. I am going to put your comments up on the screen as the stream goes to recognize the things that you're saying. Jeffrey Bay says, it's a beautiful thing to behold. Yes, let me give you a clap for saying that. Tell the truth. Anthony Pirate Smith says, yes, we got better. Let me see. You say, yes, better. We got better from last year. for his height. He's awesome. He's got the will and the heart of a great player. Yes, he does. Let's clap it up. Look. Coach Prime has says that the scouts have come to practices and they keep asking about Sigmund Craig. So they already are recognizing the talent that is on this football team, okay? The talent that is on this football team, they have always recognized the talent. Now, what I want to do, real quick, is I want to recognize someone who's redeemed themselves in this game. Everybody, here he is right here, the man himself, Shilo Sanders, who did not have a particular great game a week ago and said that he would redeem himself, that he would play better, that he would not make those sort of mistakes. And you saw in this game today, how many of you saw today's game, Coach Prime hugging both, having his arms over both of his sons? How many of y'all saw that? I think that was a beautiful view that they showed on the game today, that they previewed. But this is a young man who said he had to redeem himself. Remember, he said these things.
Hey, Shao. How big of a week is this for you guys as a team to bounce back, but also for you personally to bounce back from that game the other day?
Yeah, it's a huge week. Definitely should have had a win last game. You know what I'm saying? So we can't give up plays that we know we can make. We can't play not up to our standards, especially me, you know, because I'm the free safety. I'm the ziplock of the defense. I can't be going out there, you know, not being on my game. So just preparing, getting ready for this week is a huge week.
Now, I want to say this, everybody. How many of you in the chat room, and I want you to put sevens in the chat room if you agree with me with the premise I'm about to say here. Shilo Sanders just told us that he's the ziplock of the defense, that he's got to take better angles, better tackle, because the team is counting on him, that he has to be accountable. Last week, Coach Prime talked about, he said for this game, accountability or being accountable. Now, Shilo Sanders, everybody, and I want to put this up here again, put him up here. I'm going to put him up here right next to me. There he is right there. Shilo Sanders had 4 tackles, 3 solo tackles. He didn't record a lot of tackles today overall in comparison to Craig and Hill Green, the linebacker, Hill Green and the safety, Craig. But what he did do today is that he didn't break and he didn't bend. And you didn't see Shilo in this game today taking bad angles. Come on, everybody, let's testify to this. You didn't see him taking bad angles. I appreciate everybody that's here. Alonzo J, God's Grace, Robert Jeffrey, Jungle Brother coming in saying, great bounce back game for Shilo. Okay, you said this. Great bounce back game for Shilo. He deserves his his flowers or his tonight. Yeah, he deserves his applause tonight. He deserves credit tonight because he faced the media all week after the K-State game and didn't hide. Took it on the chin. Yes, he did. Clap to that. Anthony Smith said this. That was awesome. That was awesome that they hugged in front of the public television. You know, that was wonderful. And he admitted that he made mistakes. That takes a lot of people. It takes a strong person, a strong-minded person to admit when they were wrong, when they made some mistakes. But today, he didn't record a whole bunch of tackles. But I want you guys to testify that we in church right now. How many of you notice that when he did make tackles and you saw it on screen, he was wrapping guys up? Because I had said that a week ago in the post game after they lost to K-State. that he was bump tackling too much. He was trying to power tackle, bump with his shoulder pad. And some guys, you can't get down when you bump tackle them because they're running with too much power. I said he needs to wrap people up. How many of y'all noticed that Shilo was wrapping people up in this game tonight? How many of y'all noticed that? Put them sevens. Jeffrey Bay noticed that. He put sevens out there. Maya is in the house. She says definitely she likes Shilo. Shirley Kimbo says 7777. I appreciate what you guys are doing tonight. Let's hear some more from Shilo from just the press conference he had prior to this game. Let's hear some more.
Hey, Shilo. Mike Lamonte. How you doing? So, on game days, I know you're extremely focused. When we see you with your teammates, you're a lighthearted guy. How do you stay so focused before the game, during the game? Because I watch every game, and you're like locked in.
I need to be even more locked in because I just have to pay attention to little details and technique, especially coming downhill. You know, when you're playing against a patient running back, you gotta be patient too. And I've been out. I'm just excited to get back. I'm trying to just knock somebody's head off going full speed, but I still have to be patient when you're playing against a back like that. That's not just going to hit the hole.
Tell the truth.
So it's obvious to me that Shilo has redeemed himself and played well. He's focused. He recognizes his mistake. He didn't run away from the realities of these issues that he was having just a week ago. So I'm glad that he got back on track. I suspect that Shilo is going to look better in the next game, in the games to come, because when you've been out, remember, he's been out since the Nebraska game when he put a big hit on somebody in that game, but that's how he broke his forearm. When you've been out those many times, you need to play a few games to get back in conditioning. So I think personally, the game last week and even this game this week is still games that are getting him back in condition. I suspect everybody, let me put this up here. Their next game is going to be against Cincinnati. I'm telling you right now, Cincinnati is not playing good football right now, if I'm not mistaken. I look for them. Check this out. Here's the prediction. CU is going to be 6-2, y'all. And they're going to be 3-1 in overall conference play. How much you want to bet? They're going to beat Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's got to come to Folsom Field. It's going to be rocking and popping. They're going to beat Cincinnati. And my prediction is that they're going to do to Cincinnati what they did even more to Arizona. I suspect they're going to put up big numbers. I suspect that I wouldn't be surprised if Shilo Sanders has a big game and really plays at a higher level because now he's had 2 games under his belt to get reconditioned. I wouldn't be surprised if Shadeur puts up 500 yards passing against this team. And how many of you in the chat room heard what I heard today? They're already admitting, everybody, in these broadcasts that they believe that CU has a elite offensive, elite receiving core. Did you guys hear what I just said? That their receiving core is elite. And if you got an elite receiving core with an elite type of quarterback and you give them time and the offensive line did their damn thing today, then you can do anything, everybody. Any damn thing you want. You can have a certain level of success. So they're playing Cincinnati. Cincinnati is not looking great. All right, let me tell you what Cincinnati's doing this year. Woo. Let me see. Oklahoma State is not looking great, y'all. Oklahoma State is 0-4 in conference play, 3-4. We're going to be playing Oklahoma pretty soon. Well, we'll be playing Oklahoma near the end of the season, but they're not looking great. But let's look at Cincinnati. No, let me correct myself. Let me correct what I just said. I must have got them mixed up with Oklahoma State. Cincinnati is 3-1 right now, 5-2 overall for the season. So Cincinnati, I'm going to correct myself. I believe in correction. I got Cincinnati mixed up with Oklahoma State's record, which is an 0-4 record, a 3-4 record. Baylor is looking bad too at 0-3, and we beat Baylor. They're 2-4. Arizona has now dropped to 1-3 since we beat them. When I say 1-3, that's in conference play, right? TCU is 1-2 in conference play. I'm going to get to this further. But right now, Cincinnati is 3-1, 5-2 in play. So we both have identical records, okay? But I'm going to say it again. I think we can beat Cincinnati. I think we can put a hurting on Cincinnati. I don't think Cincinnati has played against a team like CU or matched up with receivers like CU's got the best receivers, best receiving core, bar none, in the Big 12, and one of the best receiving cores in college football, bar none. How many of you agree with me or disagree with me? But that's my correction there. I'm talking about, I made the mistake. It's Oklahoma State that doesn't look good right now and a few other teams. Cincinnati, same record, but they haven't played us yet. That's my attitude about it, y'all. So that's the correction I wanted to make right there. For those of you who watched this video on the replay, I made the correction. Cincinnati has similar out-of-conference game wins as CU and similar in-conference game win as CU. That's the correction. For anybody that comes in, leaves a comment and say, you're wrong. No, I'm making a correction right now. I'm making a correction right now. Sorry about that. Let me bring up something right now before I get to the offensive line. The offensive line played a superb game today, and I'm going to tell you how, but let me get to somebody that I should not overlook and have not overlooked, but let's get to him right now. He's on the thumbnail, y'all. And before I get to him, here go Charlie. Charlie had a big run today, right? What did Charlie do today, everybody? Let's look at what Charlie did. Charlie came in. Check this out. Charlie came in and got 7 carries for 53 yards. His longest run was for 39 yards. You know what's a trip about this? Isaiah Augustive, the young running back who came to us by way of Arkansas. This is interesting. Isaiah Augustive, he had 14 carries for 53 yards. Longest run for 9 yards with 1 touchdown. But then Charlie comes in. Now, some people are going to say, well, he came in on the garbage time and got a big run in garbage time. That's what some people would say, right? But Charlie comes in and with only 7 carries. And let me get back to the picture of Charlie. Charlie comes in with 7 carries for 53 yards for 39 yards. That's that big 39-yard run that he got. That was very, how can I say? It was explosive. What'd you guys think about that big run from Charlie? Charlie, where are you? I can't figure out. What did I do with Charlie's picture, y'all? I had it up. Now it's gone. But y'all know who I'm talking about. That's weird how Charlie just disappeared off my system. Oh, Charlie, where are you? How did that happen? There it is, right there. So how many of you recognize what Charlie did tonight? Be it was near the end of the game, he got a big run. Jeffrey Bay say 10-2 season for the Buffs. Okay, I like that. Yeah, Cincinnati, we can beat Cincinnati. I'm going to be looking at Cincinnati and studying that team and seeing how they operate. God's grace say yes, speak into existence. Yes, speaking into existence, they could beat them. Jeffrey said yes. Jeffrey Bay says 10-2 season. Anthony Smith comes and says, I agree with you. Thank you, sir. Shirley, one of our mods, great mods, Kimball, she said 7-7-7. Rakeem is coming in with 4 sevens, and I appreciate that. Let's take that off the screen. And now let's get to a man who I think we just got to give him some credit here. This young man right here, Jelante Wester, I'm liking him more and more. Are you guys liking him more and more? I'm liking Wester more and more. It seems like every game that he plays in, he is making an impact. Jimmy Horn has not had the production since the first game of the season. And with some of the injuries or some of the issues that Jimmy Horn Jr. has had, guys like Wester have stepped up and played very well. And I hope that Jimmy Horn Jr., I hope that he gets back to playing excellent football. I hope whatever was ailing him or affecting him in today's game, that maybe next week he will have a better game. Because, a lot of these guys were actually injured. Remember, we didn't think that Jimmy Horn Jr. was going to play today. We didn't think that Travis Hunter was going to play, and then he ended up being taken out of the game. And I think that they probably should have, just as I said in the beginning of this podcast, they probably should have just never played Travis Hunter in this game today at all. I think they should have let him sit out, because what did Travis do today as far as offensively? Let's take a look right here. Travis, what did he do offensively? Travis had 2 catches for 17 yards, 14 yards was his largest yardage today. So he didn't have his typical Travis Hunter game, and they had to take him out. We saw him coming out with the clothes on. I was saying, man, I hope it ain't something real serious. And they just said he may have aggravated the shoulder again. And that's why it probably wasn't the best thing to have him play today. I would have liked him to have another week to heal up his shoulder so he can come in strong against Cincinnati, the 5-2 Cincinnati, the 3-1 Cincinnati. Okay. But we got to be honest. Wester showed us a lot today. He showed us that he is the real deal, that he can make plays, that he is nobody to underestimate whatsoever. Let's look at his numbers, everybody. What did Wester do today, y'all? Let's look at his numbers. This young man that you're looking on the screen at had 8 receptions for 127 yards for an average of 15.9. No touchdowns. I wish he would have got a touchdown, but his longest catch today was for 46 yards. Okay? So I thought that was excellent. Give him a clap. I thought that he was excellent. He's continuing to show us that he is the real deal and that he should be respected. He is no one to take a back seat. He's not. He is the real deal. Thank God we got him in the transfer portal, because he's been heaven sent to the team. This guy has made key plays for us. And as I said before about Will Sheppard had 4 catches today for 54 yards, 1 TD. And the young man, one of the Miller brothers, as I call him, Darrell Miller, had the catch for 18 yards, 3 catches for 18 yards, 1 touchdown today. So that was fantastic. Jimmy Horn, I think he may be still hurt. I don't know. We'll hear what Coach Prime has to say on his press conference tonight, or what he'll say for the upcoming week against Cincinnati. He had 2 catches for 9 yards, longest catch for 10. He did have a breakaway punt return where he made a good run down the field. Okalola Samuel, if I'm saying his name right, he has the first name, it's an African name, Okalola Samuel. I thought he was fantastic today. How many of y'all like what Samuel Samuel, how many of y'all like what he did tonight? He was all over the damn place. He was coming alive. This man had 2 sacks. He got 2 sacks in the third quarter, making up the overall 7 sacks on Noah. We were dominating on both sides of the ball. Both sides, defensive side, offensive side. They got 7 sacks on him, and Oka Lola. I'm having problems with that pronunciation, that African. He got that African name. Oka Samuel, Okalula had 2 sacks in the third quarter, flying all over the place. I was proud of what he brought to the table today. He's coming alive. This defense is getting better, and we were warned about this. We were warned about this by this man that you see right here on the screen. Didn't he warn us that they're getting better? Didn't he warn us that he's getting more confidence? Didn't he try to warn us? Didn't you guys pay attention to what he said, everybody? Did you pay attention? Check it out.
Be patient and try to hit you with something.
That's Shilo. We heard what Shilo had to say, but did y'all remember what BJ Green told us about this defense and about himself?
Having NFL experience in our room and just having all those, like, we got a 3-headed monster at coach. So we got Sab, we got D-Lou, we got Coach Dancy. So just trusting that training. And like I said before, they come in splashes and, the dam broke. So now it's really open season. So just a race to the quarterback at this point.
Adam, go ahead. BJ Woods.
He said it's a race to the quarterback, and that race produced 7 sacks. To me, this is very significant, everybody. Put those 7s in there. 7 sacks, 7 for a perfect number, 7 with promoting this channel through the algorithms. Put those 7s in there. I appreciate that. Yeah, I get what he's saying. He said that it's a chase to the quarterback, and damn it, that chase to the quarterback led to 7 sacks. Everybody that's in this chat room right now that watched CU last year, do you remember this team doing any of this last year? I can't remember one of those games last year where they got to the quarterback 7 times in a game. Am I wrong or am I correct? Am I wrong or am I correct? Tell me. He's telling you it's a race to the quarterback. This defense is getting better. And if they keep up, if they just run the ball more, 20 carries, 28 carries, run the damn football, then pass the ball, run, pass, run, pass. And if the defense keeps playing how they're playing, there's nothing that can keep this team from playing in the Big 12 championship and playing out, having success the rest of the season going forward. They can beat these other teams in the Big 12 if they stick with that formula. Do you agree with that? Let's hear some more from this young man.
Your early impressions of Arizona and kind of the challenge that awaits you guys down in the desert.
I'm real familiar with them. They kind of remind me of us on offense. They're gonna drop back and they're gonna throw that ball.
Which they did today, but we put pressure on them.
Good football team, so we just got to be us, like the same thing. We got the same approach. So just got to be us and attack the week.
Hey, BJ, Pat Graham, Associated Press. When you go up against Shadeur and that offense every day in practice, how does that prepare you for like Arizona and other teams? Just how much does it prepare you for what you have to do?
It prepares us for a similar drop back, being able to see the quarterback depth, what they like to do, those tendencies, being able to see a quarterback's tendencies like that and be able to match like certain tendencies with an opposing team and what they like to do, his scramble tendencies, it really prepares us for certain games like that.
You hear what he said? Going up against Shadeur Sanders, because Shadeur Sanders plays in a shotgun, he drops back. It prepares them for going up against teams that play a similar offense where they have a quarterback dropping back. Well, that's exactly what Noah was doing today for Arizona. He was dropping back. They were hitting those lanes to get to him. They were causing disruption. Yeah, he scrambled out here and there. Looked like he was making some big plays here and there, but he was running a lot, but they didn't score. They didn't make big plays to score a touchdown off of his runs. And consequently, this defense racked up 7 sacks. Let me repeat this again. Nakai Hill Green. I'm going to repeat this for the cheap seats at the ball game, for the expensive seats at the ball game, for the popcorn and candy at the ball game. Nakai Green had 1 sack in his game to make up that 7 sacks. Let's clap that up. Remember, he played for Michigan at one point in time. Okay. Okalula Samuels, he had 2 sacks in this game. Another young man, and I wish I had his picture to put up, was Walker, number 54, Walker. He had a sack in this game. Let's give it up to him, too. That's Walker, number 53. Now, let's give it up again for the man who made those statements, because what did B.J. Green do tonight but get a sack of his own as well? Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Okay, so B.J. Green recorded a sack, and then somebody that I can't get away from was one of the Wade brothers. One of the Wade brothers, number 27, I believe Keaton Wade, the young man, he's a linebacker, right? There's 2 Wade brothers. One of them is a quarterback, and one of them is a linebacker. The Wade brothers are the brothers that came over. I think they're twins or something. They came over from what? If I'm not mistaken, they came over from Kentucky. One's a quarterback, one's a linebacker, number 27. Tell me if I'm wrong or right by putting 7s in the chat room. He recorded, it just dawned on me, he recorded 2 sacks in this game at linebacker. He came in and got 2 tackles, 2 solo tackles, and 2 sacks in this game. Thank you, Jeffrey Bay. Thank you, God's Grace. All of you that are here, I thank you for the support, for coming in. Jeffrey Bay said that Shadeur was sacked. Yeah, Shadeur got sacked, but he didn't get sacked 7 times. He didn't get sacked 8 times, 10 times. Shadeur wasn't getting knocked around like a rag doll, right? We didn't see, you know, I always, what's that picture I always show? And let's give some props to Coach Sapp. He's doing a great job, right? Right? Let's give some props to Coach Prime. He's really improving as a head coach. You got to be honest about that. Come on, y'all. Robert Livingston did a great job today, calling the game defensively. And you know, and Pat Shermer, you did some of the NFL shit I've been wanting you to do. You deserve a clap, too. And right now, we can't deny something. We cannot deny that this brother right here, Phil, the offensive line coach, the offensive line, yes, they've had their ups and downs, you know, here and there. Unfortunately, you know, in the beginning of the year, they gave up 16 sacks to Shadeur. We understand that, but they're making strides. They're making improvement. Well, damn it, they played well today, because you didn't see Shadeur running all over the place for his life today. You didn't see him getting sacked. Another thing that you didn't see out of Shadeur today, I think he's listening, y'all. He wasn't holding on to the ball too long today and doing the stuff that he did last week, where he was running and throwing the ball behind his back because he was trying to avoid taking a sack, and then they end up getting intentional grounding, and that was moving them back. Today, they ran the ball. They had shorter yardage. I mean, all these things were successful for Shadeur, and I think Coach Prime was loving it. We didn't see Shadeur like this today, y'all, right? We didn't see this Shadeur that we saw last year. Remember how last year he was taking a thrashing last year? It was so sad to see. No, we didn't see that from Shadeur today. We saw a confident Shadeur. We saw a man who knew what he was doing out there, didn't have to hold on to the ball for a long time, and was making plays. That's why he deserves a clap, right? Was making plays all over the field today and doing what he had to do. I was definitely happy about what I witnessed. This is why Shadeur was very successful today. How many of you all realize what the offensive line was doing? The commentary was talking about this today, and I concur to this. The offensive line did a lot of great things in the game in terms of certain improvement, in terms of stunts, their stunts and their movement. Okay, it was said today that the offensive line played well because they were They were running their stunts, and their movement on the offensive line was fluent. It was working. They were playing as a unit. Now, there was a problem on the offensive line with the young center, and they had to take him out of the game because what Arizona was doing is they were taking their nose guards or their defensive tackles and putting them close to his head. I don't know what was happening that was causing the young man to have confusion, but there was a snap where he snapped the ball before Shadeur was ready for the ball. And I thought that was the one mistake that he made. But then there was another play where he snapped the ball, and it wasn't his fault. It was Shadeur who actually had dropped the ball trying to give it to Isaiah. So there was something that was going on with the center. I think Tzunski is his name. And they ended up taking him out of the game and replacing him. And it was said on the broadcast that Shadeur walked over to him and told him, hey, it's all right, man. See, that's what you need from a player. But let's give it up for guys like our man right there, Jordan Seaton. Let's give him a clap. Okay. Khalid Benson went out there, did a good job as well. Okay. Let's just give it up. Let's give it up for, any of the offensive linemen that played today. Walker, Tyler Brown, if he was in the mix today at any point in time. Taylor Johnson, if he was in the mix. Any of these offensive linemen, if they were in the mix today. Or we got Justin Mayers. Okay, let's give it up to them. Any of the guys that were in the mix today, I give them all the respect that is needed. Those that were in the mix, even if the young players had a chance to play a couple of snaps, like Peyton Kirkland, or Zachariah Owens, if any of these young men had a chance to get out there at some point in time. But the offensive line did their job, did what was necessary, and they played well. Okay, let's go back over here, and I want to look at another area. This is another area that I failed to go over. Arizona has a very, what they would say, a dominant receiver. And I said in my pregame video that they had to neutralize both the receiver in who do we have here? Let's pull him up. Now that's their receiver right there. McMillan. McMillan, number 4, is their dominant threat in the receiving game. We were able to shut this guy down. I was concerned about him, but we neutralized him. We were able to make him a non-factor. Did you know number 4, McMillan, only had 5 receptions for 38 yards, no touchdowns? Matter of fact, we basically controlled their receiving core. I mean, the only guy that made noise today was Chris Hunter, number 16, with a 30-yard catch. He got 1 touchdown. But Patterson, their other receiver, got 2 catches for 31 yards. But the guy that we completely shut out, and we had to shut him out, was the man you're looking at right there, McMillan. He only had 5 receptions for 38 yards. We did a damn good job. Our secondary, you got to be honest, if you believe the secondary is getting better with guys like McKinley, and we got Colton Hood. Of course, Preston Hodge gave up a play last week, but he's still getting better. And, of course, Travis Hunter does what he does, but he had to leave the game. But we got guys like Colton Hood stepping up with an interception and ran the ball back. We're talking about a play that he made in the 4th quarter. He made a big play. How many of you agree with me that the secondary for CU is getting better? And I'm glad that Colton Hood of the Hood brothers, I'd like to know what's going on with his brother who's a running back. Where is his status? Is he being redshirted or something? But this young man who came over from Auburn, for the last 2 games, this guy has recorded an interception. So he has made an impact for us over the last 2 games. He made an impact for us in the last game that led to us having the opportunity to still win that game against K-State, even though we came up short 31-28. Do you all agree with me? We got Maurice Johnson coming in the house. Keisha is here saying absolutely. Jungle Brother saying Colton Hood is him. Yes, he is him. Carlos is saying it was a good game today. Yes, it was, Carlos. I appreciate what you just said. Jungle Brother says Seaton is a classic bookend left tackle. Solid. And guess what? He's only going to get better. But what do you think about Colton Hood in the last 2 games? How he has really come alive, y'all. I got to speak on that. But yes, you're right. Jordan Seaton, a true freshman out of high school, is showing you why if he sticks with this team and continues to get better, everybody realize this is only his first year. Do you understand how much better Jordan Seaton is going to be when he comes back next year? He gets a little bit more muscle on him, trim down some of the fat off the body, and really get some bulk up with some more muscle, and understanding the game of college football even better. Do you know how much better he's going to be next year? How much stronger? How much dominant he can be? Did everybody in the chat room seem to realize what I'm saying? And I still believe, everybody, maybe I'm shooting at the stars here, but I still believe that CU has a chance to get this young man Juju. Okay? I think they can get him. I think it's possible. What do you think? I think it's very possible. But we totally shut down their top receiver in McMillan. He didn't run all over the place on us. Last year, McMillan was locked up. Travis Hunter was locked up on him. Travis Hunter held his own against him until near the end of the game. He gave up a touchdown. Prior to that touchdown that Travis Hunter gave up to him last year when they lost 34-31. How many of y'all remember that? I brought this up in the early part of this show tonight. Once again, nobody can deal with our receiving core, as you see right there. But remember what I brought up early in the game, early in this broadcast. This is last year. Last year, they lost to Arizona 34-31. Isn't it ironic that they beat Arizona by the same points that Arizona beat them last year, but even better? Don't you find that ironic?
Tell the truth.
Don't you find that interesting, everybody? Maurice Johnson says that Colorado recruits are going to commit next week. And guess what? I'll be looking into that because I'll definitely want to do a video featuring those recruits that we'll get. I think the better that CU plays like this, it's definitely going to open the eyes of those recruits that were having second thoughts about going to CU and now may be changing their mind and saying, you know what, CU is actually building something there. Wait a minute. I think I need to be a part of what they got going on at CU. What do you all think out there? I'm going to go into the chat room again and pull up your thoughts before we end this podcast tonight. Another thing that I noticed in this game tonight, as part of my analysis tonight, how many of you in the chat room, by putting those 7s out there, witnessed how physical CU was tonight? This was probably the most physical game that I've saw them play since the game that they played against Colorado State. But this particular game, they were very physical. Because last week, they weren't making their tackles. They weren't wrapping guys up. They were making a lot of mistakes. It's obvious that they were listening to the coaches. They were listening to Coach Prime. They were listening to their defensive coaches, their offensive coaches, their position coaches. They were tackling people and wrapping people up.
Tell the truth.
How many of you noticed that? How CU was wrapping people up, tackling, taking better angles. They were playing on all cylinders tonight. This whole game was fantastic, yo. Let me put up the time of possession. What was time of possession for them tonight? Okay, CU had 30 minutes and 34 seconds of time of possession. That's excellent. They need to continue doing that. However, Arizona had 29 minutes and 26 seconds of time of possession, and mainly a lot of that was because Noah, their quarterback, he kept managing to scramble and run and keep a few things alive, but they never really scored many touchdowns off of what he did. Another thing, too, first downs. CU had 21 first downs to their 17 first downs. Rushing, CU had 148 yards rushing, Arizona only 107. So we definitely controlled that tempo of rushing. One of the areas that I don't like, and both teams had the same total of turnovers. 3 turnovers for CU, 3 turnovers for Arizona. I'm going to tell you right now, we got to stop turning the ball over. I know Shadeur Sanders threw an interception. I think 2 of them tonight, and he would rather have them back. I'm sure he's going to look at the film. He's going to make those adjustments and things of that nature. Now, let's get into this analysis that I've been waiting to talk about that I find interesting. Here we go, everybody. Put this right here. Now, listen to what I'm about to say before I go into the chat room, read your comments. I want you all to hear what I'm about to say right now. This is the 2024 Big 12 standings. Right now, Colorado is in fifth place on this standings. BYU is 4-0 in conference play, 7-0 overall play. Iowa State is 6-0 in overall play of the season. They're 3-0 in conference. Texas Tech is 3-0 in conference. Cincinnati is 3-1 in conference. Colorado is 3-1 in conference. Damn it, if Colorado would have beat K-State last week, they would have been a ranked team. They would be looking at being 6-2, and they probably would be one step under BYU. BYU's got a good football team, y'all. So right now, look at this. CU is 3-1. Kansas State is 2-1. This is in conference play. I'm naming the Big 12 conference play. Kansas State is in 2-1. West Virginia is 2-1. Arizona State is 2-2. UCF is 1-2. Utah, believe it or not, I thought Utah would be very dominant. Utah is 1-2. 4-2 in overall play. But in the conference, they're 1-2. You got to win your conference. TCU's 1-2. Kansas is 1-3. Arizona's 1-3. Houston's 1-3. Baylor is 0-3 in the conference. They're in trouble. And Oklahoma State is 0-4 in the conference. They're in trouble. We play them near the end of the season of the schedule. Let's look at overall record. BYU is 7-0. Iowa State is 6-0. Texas Tech is 5-1. Cincinnati is 5-2. Colorado is 5-2. Kansas State is 5-1. Kansas State should be 5-2 because we should have beat them, right? But check this out. They're Colorado's coaches and players, their destiny is in their own hands, everybody. Their destiny's in their own hands. All they got to do is be Cincinnati, go up 6-2 in the conference. They'll move up. They'll be one step closer to the opportunities that we want to see them have, which is a bowl game. I believe that they can compete for a Big 12 conference championship. It's no longer a wish or a dream. It's a reality if they keep playing with this formula. You see what I have on the screen to the left, the 2024 Big 12 standing. I have Colorado highlighted. They're ranked number 5 right now in the conference because they have 1 loss. The other teams that are above them have no losses in the conference. CU is in a pretty damn position. They're in a better position this year than they were last year at this time. Remember,
Information
is power. Remember last year at this time, they were like, what, 4-3? Mind you, the Big 12, the Pac-12 schedule was a tough schedule. You play the teams that's on your schedule, but hell, when you look at this, what I have up here, I'm going to say it again. CU is 5th ranked in the conference. The teams above them is BYU 4-0, Iowa State 3-0, Texas Tech 3-0, Cincinnati at 3-1, and Colorado at 3-1 with a 5-2 record. Those are the top 5 teams in the conference. Everybody below them, from Kansas State to West Virginia, Arizona State, UCF, Utah, TCU, Kansas, Arizona, Houston, Baylor, and Oklahoma State, they all have the worst record so far. They are above all those teams, which means they have everything is in their control. It's all in their hands to be competitive in this conference and be potentially a team that could play for a Big 12 conference championship. That's what we're saying right now. What do you believe? What do you believe? Do you get my analysis that I just broke down right there a few minutes ago? If you do, put 7s in the chat room. Let's hear what you believe. Let's go into the chat room and see what you believe. God's grace gave me a clap. Thank you very much. Brian comes in and says this. Baylor's 5-9, 35 Texas Tech final. So Baylor just won a game. So wait a minute. Let's put this up here. Wait a minute now. I like what you just did. So let's see. Let me put this up here. So you said that Baylor is beating Texas Tech 59-35. Damn, that's like a basketball score. You know what I mean? It's like a basketball score. So that means that Texas Tech is 3-1, which will change the mapping of this conference. Yeah, I like what you're saying to me. And now Baylor is 1-3 in conference. They're 1-3 in conference below every. So that means that if Texas Tech is 3-1, which means they're 5-2, that means Colorado could move up a slot. It could be Cincinnati at number 3, and Colorado moved into the 4th spot of the Big 12 conference. I'm gonna look at that. That looks good. I'm glad what you just reported. That's an excellent report by you. No damn doubt about it. Let's go over here. And we got Duke 09 baby says Skull Buffs Nation Daily. Thank you. We got Rakim putting 7-7s. How you doing, sir? Much respect to you. Thank you for coming over. Let me see. Okay, we got a guy giving us thank you. Matter of fact, damn it, you know what I got to do next time? And I'm going to say, let me apologize to everybody. I like what Brian is doing right now. Next time, what I'm going to do is when I go live, I'm going to have the Big 12 game ticker. I'm going to have a game ticker or some kind of ticker on one of my computers so that I can see what the final is for those. If anybody's got their television on too while you're watching me and you can find out what the scores of the other teams are, please do that so that we can figure out where CU is going to rank. So right now, Brian says UCF 35-30 Iowa State. That's the game right now. So let me see something. it may not matter with these teams that are already got bad records. Now, UCF, if they win this game, they'll be 2-2. If they lose to Iowa State, wow, this is great. This is in time discussion here. They'll be wow. Now, if Iowa State loses this game to UCF, man, I'm glad you put this out there. Damn, I need to let me see. Damn, just keep posting what you're seeing in the schedule, what you're seeing in the scores. Wow, that would put Iowa State at 3-1 and 6-1 on the season. So they'll be 3-1, but they're 6-0. They'll be 6-1 overall in their schedule, in their in terms of their wins and losses, but they'll be 3-1. So because they'll still be 6-1, Iowa State will probably still be in that second spot, possibly. This is good stuff, y'all. It's good stuff. Jungle Brother put 7s in there. Thank you. And Maya is in the house. Thank you, my sister Maya. She says, good night, guys. Be safe. Oh, thank you very much, Maya. Thank you for coming over and supporting the show tonight. I really appreciate that. Wow. So let me see. Earlier it was 35-27 Iowa State fourth quarter, but now you said it's 30. You said it's 30-35. Is that the final or are they still playing? Wow. This is good stuff. Shirley put in here, she said Weaver showed up for the Buffs. Good to see him. Oh, yeah, he showed up. Yeah. I think he's playing with the Arizona Cardinals. He got picked up as a free agent with them, if I'm not mistaken. Let's go to Jeffrey Bay. Jeffrey Bay said Hood is instinctive player, impact to game, and he always looks for the pick six. Yes, right. Let's see. Hey, I appreciate everybody over here that's supporting the channel tonight. Appreciate it. So we'll see. Once I get a chance to see all the scores for tonight, all the final scores, then I'm gonna go into I'm gonna go into my computer, and then I'm gonna be able to look at a chart, and I might do a separate video about this. A short little video, an uploaded video about how Colorado can maximize their situation given what teams lose their games today. Particularly the teams that are playing in the upper echelon right now of the schedule. So I appreciate you all. Let me see who else is in the chat room before I end the podcast. Anthony Curry comes in. What's going on, man? Thank you. Thank you. Let me see what's going on, Mr. Rakeem. So JD comes in and says UCF is up on Iowa currently. Okay. JD says this. Tech just lost to Baylor. All right, so Tech lost to Baylor. And so if Tech lost to Baylor, looking at my, let me see this right here. Let me put this up here, if you don't mind. Boom. So if Tech just lost to Baylor, that means that Texas Tech is 3-1 with a 5-2 record. So that means Texas Tech and Cincinnati and CU, they all are tied with the same record. So how do you break the tie? The tie will be probably broken by what are the quality wins between these three teams. Whichever teams have the most quality wins in their overall record, they will be above each other. So if Texas Tech has more quality wins if Iowa State has more quality wins than Texas Tech, Cincinnati, and Colorado, they'll probably remain in the number 2 slot. Because that's probably why they're in that slot anyway, because they've had, so this is going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. And I'm going to go online and look how the computers, when they put this standing out, I'm going to look at this standing when it's refreshed to see where CU is going to be at. Maybe CU will bounce up in the fourth spot. We'll see how this works. But they got to win. They got to beat Cincinnati next week. They can't have a letdown. They're going to be at home. They got to beat Cincinnati. They can't go into that game and have a letdown and play below their standard. They go home again in Folsom Stadium with that rocking crowd. You beat Cincinnati. You run the ball. I'm going to say it again. It has to be the same formula. You run the ball. You give these guys carries. You pass the ball. You got to have good defensive play. Is power. You have good defensive play. You get those defensive linemen penetrating and putting pressure on the quarterback. Secondary stepping up. Hopefully Travis Hunter will be a lot more healthier next week at home. They're really going to have to provide that young man with treatment to the shoulder because he aggravated it again. But if they stick to the formula that's been working in this game and the formula that was working when they played against UCF, they're going to be successful, everybody, successful. And it's just that simple, everybody. Look, if you agree, if you appreciate what I'm doing with this podcast tonight, please put sevens in the chat room. Share this video on all your social media, your X, your Twitter, your Facebook. If you got fan groups for CU, any type of groups on Facebook, those kind of groups, sports groups, any type of thing that you're a part of, drop this video in there so that more people can see this video, more people can come over and subscribe to this channel and support us and be a part of the family over here. And also make sure that you go over to your Facebook if you have Facebook and follow this channel on Prime Sports Media. Another thing that I want to make an announcement to everybody about, when you look at my channel page, you'll see a podcast link to Spotify or Spreaker. I'm going to be dropping more audio podcasts. The stuff that I have over there is old from last year. So you're probably wondering, hey, why hasn't he putting any more newer audio content? The podcast that I do over there, which is a radio style podcast, is completely different from what I'm doing on the YouTube channel. So make sure when you get a chance that you follow me on any podcasting platform that you like to use. Spotify, Spreaker, any of them that you like to use when you want to listen to audio talk, because I'll be putting professional radio style broadcast on audio through my audio podcast to this channel, and I'm planning to put new, fresh material. You'll get some good sound bites on there, some good breakdowns on some things. I'm going to be introducing some good things on there, so make sure you follow me on any of those platforms that you like to listen to your audio podcast. All you got to do is put Prime Sports Media, and I'll come up on any of those platforms that you like to use, okay? Google Podcasts, all of them. Tune in, whatever you like to use. iHeartRadio, all of that. You can find me on those as well. It's different content from what I'm doing on the YouTube channel, okay? And check out the Facebook, share this video. I really appreciate everybody in the chat room. Again, everybody, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching the program tonight, the podcast. I hope everybody's having a lovely weekend, a lovely night. Subscribe, comment when you get a chance, because I definitely appreciate it. Let's see what we have in the chat room. If anybody else has anything they want to say. Peggy Roster's coming strong, and she says, don't forget to like the video, share the video. Jungle Brother, who's rocking with us tonight, says K-State's blowing out West Virginia. So let me see something. K-State is blowing out West Virginia. Okay, so let's go. Let me go right here. Let me put this up. I want to look at something right now. So K-State, I'm glad you guys are giving me these updates. This is real time right now. So let's see. K-State is blowing out West Virginia, which means K-State will be 3-1. K-State will be 3-1, which will put them at 5-2. West Virginia will be 3-1 and 3-4. So they're going to drop down. I think K-State might go above us because they beat us last week, but we were already above them. This is interesting. We'll see how this all plays out in the overall Big 12 standings, because K-State is going to be 3-1. So there's going to be 3 teams that are going to have the same record as ours. K-State, who we already lost to, they're going to be 3-1 with a 5-2 record. We're 5-2, 3-1. Cincinnati is 3-1 with a 5-2. We have a chance to beat Cincinnati next week and put them to rest. Okay? Texas Tech looks like they're going to lose, right? Somebody said Texas Tech is losing right now. Let's see. UCF just got a first down with 3 and 17 seconds left. Okay, I hear you. Angel Eyes has come back in. She says, I'm so proud of Colorado Buffs tonight. I'm proud of them too, sister. Thank you. They deserve another clap. Anthony Curry says, keep on keeping on. Thank you. Thank you very much. Alicia, let me see what she's talking about. This has been a great live. Hey, thank you, Alicia. This has been a great live. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Alicia, I will be going live on the Information Man show sometime very soon. If I don't go live on Sunday, I'm going to be coming. I'll probably go live and do a show maybe Monday night, because I need to address on that particular channel the situation with this election, Kamala Harris, and the whole situation with Barack Obama talking down to black men. I've got some juicy information on that, some stuff that I want to expose about that situation. So bear with me. I'll be back with the Information Man show very soon, this upcoming, during this week. We'll be getting back to doing what we do over there. And thank you. Keep on keeping on. Angel says she's proud of the Colorado. Younger brother put 7 sevens. So everybody, I better get out of here. I thank you very much for your support tonight, rocking with the channel. We're going to get on out of here and do what we going to do. It's been, how can I say, wonderful. And I appreciate y'all. I will be doing a pre-game video about our matchup against Cincinnati. And I might do a short little video to talk about how Colorado can take advantage of where they are in the standings. If they stick to this damn formula, sky's the limit for their season within the Big 12 Conference. Don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to the naysayers. Trust the process. And CU's defense has gotten better. They're getting better every week. They're showing improvement. And I like what I'm seeing. Okay, everybody? So let me make sure I don't have anything else that I want to present to you, anything that I've forgotten to present to you tonight. I think that's all I've got for you. Shadeur played a hell of a game tonight. Coach Prime, I think I said it before, I think he is making improvement as a coach. I think he's a first-time college coach at the college level. Now, he's coached, Prime Academy. He's coached kids, but he's getting better. He coached at Jackson State, but I think he's getting better because he's learning from his mistakes, as everybody learns from their mistakes and you get better. So let's just keep that in mind. Their program is just getting better, y'all. So with that said, everybody, y'all take care. Let's get on out of here. Tell somebody that you love them. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video. Like the video. I appreciate you all. And shout out to all the content creators out there that's doing the damn thing. And I'll see y'all very soon with another video, whether it be an upload or a live stream. But we got some more content coming your way. I appreciate you. Take care. Thank you.
Pirates, looking for high risk, searching for idols, see through your iris. No fooling the giant, feel the wrath of a tyrant. Never really had enough, you can never really have enough. Nah, never really had enough, you can never really have enough.
That's why you gotta look for yourself. Do not live your life on another man's word. Open up these books for yourself. You will get shook by the truth too. Start to see crooks by the buku. Connections unseen like the Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi. Found facts that I can't deny. I had to change my eye, which is a fancy way of saying nigga switch perspective. No auto-tune, found my pitch perfected. Figure why a nigga felt so disconnected. Introspective questions, answer with deflections. In the mirror, no reflections. Was severely misdirected. And then that shit gets dismissed from recollection when I'm
I want to thank you for subscribing to the show. God's Grace said, just subscribe to the Information Man Show. Hey, thank you for subscribing to that channel. The Information Man Show is a channel that I've had for quite some time. On that channel, most of my content is geared towards issues that surround Black people, around politics, culture, social issues, political issues. And I talk about things that happen in the news. We do as analytical. We get to solutions over there, but it is polarizing content because we talk about the real stuff that's happening to us as a people, and also what we can do to work together as a people and be more on code, everybody. So thank you if you do happen to subscribe to the Information Man Show as well. And make sure you share this video tonight, y'all. Thank you.
Searching my soul, looking for diamonds of gold. Thinking how far does it go? Can I buy love at a store? Really, how much are they running me for? They're counting for more. Look, I can see the greed in their eyes now, trying to show the teeth when they lie, but I would never lie down. Enemies on the line now, gotta get the high ground. Take a step and get sniped down. Who's got the highest price? Who's got the ruby eye? You know everyone has a price. Who's got the sharpest knife? Picking at diamond mines, keep a short leash on them dogs. On my goonies, they never die. My Valentines follow the dollar signs, hard to not compromise. When you never had shit to begin with, picking up tricks in the interest, rather get rich in the trenches. Man, I'm talking big business, where the morals are smaller than inches. Get hip to the system or sleep with the fishes. Outsmart the vindictive, don't become a whole lot of pirates, looking for high risk, searching for idols, see through your iris. No fooling the giant, feel the wrath of a tyrant. Never really had enough, you can never really have enough. Nah, never really had enough, you can never really have enough.
That's why you gotta look for yourself. Do not live your life on another man's word. Open up these books for yourself. You will get shook by the truth too. Start to see crooks by the buku. Connections unseen like the Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi. Found facts that I can't deny. I had to change my eye, which is a fancy way of saying nigga switch perspective. No auto-tune, found my pitch perfected. Figure why a nigga felt so disconnected. Introspective questions, answer with deflections. In the mirror, no reflections. Was severely misdirected. And then that shit gets dismissed from recollection when I'm sky high. We can shoot the breeze, no drive-by. I be Drew Brees with the knowledge I've arrived by. Kobe system shooter, keep it Raja. Bear with me, bear with me, grow with me, share with me.
A whole lot of pirates, looking for high risk, searching for idols, see through your iris. No fooling the giant, feel the wrath of a tyrant. Never really had enough, you can never really have enough. Nah, never really had enough, you can never really have enough. Whole lot of pirates, whole lot of pirates. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, right now. I've been feeling like a loner lately. Been a minute since I woke up feeling sober. When awake I'm seeing nightmares. Sleeping you are right there like you never left. And I am hoping that you might care. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when I feel like I could trust? Yeah, now I'm on a chase for the same shit. I hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but I'm surrounded by the fake shit. Beast in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up my homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. I wonder if you're social lately. I wonder if you're always fucking sober or emotion roller coaster, barely coasting, hardly cope. And wanna call me, but you never push that motherfucking button. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when you feel like you can trust? Yeah, now you wanna chase for the same shit. You hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but you're surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up your homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now.
Tell the truth.
Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. I've been feeling like a loner lately. Been a minute since I woke up feeling sober. When awake, I'm seeing nightmares. Sleeping, you are right there like you never left. And I am hoping that you might care. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when I feel like I could trust? Yeah, now I'm on a chase for the same shit. I hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but I'm surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up my homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 to me, nah, 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 right now. I wonder if you're social lately. I wonder if you're always fucking sober or emotion roller coaster, barely coasting, hardly cope. And wanna call me, but you never push that motherfucking button. Change on me. What about us? What about the times when you feel like you could trust? Yeah, now you wanna chase for the same shit. You hear the sirens in the lake and wanna chase them. Beauty on the out, but you're surrounded by the fake shit. Beasts in a maze. Sing about freedom like a bird in a cage. That's a whole different pain. Calling up your homies and it's hard to explain. Yeah, it's hard to explain. Staying on my mind on the usual. Wanna call you up like we used to do. Tell you all the things I could do for you. Nah, 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 nah.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.